I understand how somebody could get to 500 or get to 600 hours and feel like they're able to go to another country and be able to speak with the people. Because, hola, soy AJ. Hey guys, my name is AJ, and I am back with another video for you guys. As you can see, this is not another level update. This is actually an Italki update. So I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about how my first crosstalk experience has been, and about how me using Italki has been over these past 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago on Sunday, I would say the week that I made that video and posted it, my last video, my 500-hour update, that same Sunday, I decided to reward myself and have my first crosstalk session. I went on Italki and I was looking around and I was like, man, I don't know who to pick. And then I decided, you know what? Let me go ahead, spend a little bit of extra money, and meet somebody that I actually know for a fact that I'm going to be able to understand. And if you haven't already guessed, the guy that I chose was Martin from Spanish Boost Gaming. Now, if you didn't know, he does provide Italki lessons, because I've heard him talk about giving lessons in his streams before, and I was like, where does he give these lessons? So then I went to his page and I clicked on his his other links profile, and it'll show you his Twitch, his other YouTube channel, and it'll show you his Italki profile. So I went there and I ended up booking a lesson with him for 30 minutes. Now, the lesson lasted 30 minutes. It was a crosstalk lesson, but it actually ended up lasting 40 minutes. And it was really cool. It's really interesting trying to talk to somebody for the first time that you've seen on camera a whole bunch. It's like you know them, but they don't know you. You know, it's a weird experience. But being able to meet him for the first time and speak to him, I would say if you're thinking about maybe doing it, maybe trying to meet him, I would definitely recommend it, because in terms of comprehension, if you can comprehend his YouTube videos, then you can definitely comprehend his Italki lessons. He talks the exact same way, makes the exact same kind of jokes. So if you really like his YouTube videos, you will really like doing a crosstalk lesson from him. It was cool because he asked me about like how I got into Spanish, and he actually says that he watches a few of my videos too, so that was cool to know. And he congratulated me on doing Spanish for a whole year and talked about how like that's a big milestone. Yeah, it was all around a really good experience. Like, I talked to him about like a little bit of anime because he said he watched anime. I told him that he was actually the one that put me on to Legends of Zelda. I've never played a Zelda game before, but I saw him playing Breath of the Wild, and I saw that it looked so fun. My girlfriend ended up getting it for me for Christmas, and now I play Breath of the Wild, and I'm loving it. So I told him that, and I asked him actually why he wasn't uploading the Zelda videos, and he told me that something was actually wrong with his capture card for his Nintendo Switch. So if you're like me and you're wondering like, hey, where are the Zelda videos at? Because those were like some of the first streams that he did. It's because something's going on with his Switch right now. But yeah, it was a very fun experience. And so later that week, on Tuesday, I decided to have another lesson. And let me just break it down for you guys on how I kind of search for professors. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a college student. So I'm very broke, which means that if you go on there, you'll see people charging, you know, $10 a lesson, $12, $15, some charging $20, $25, $30. I sorted by price from low to high, from low to high, and I was looking through all of those professors. And here is a big tip. If you are wanting to do crosstalk, I'm letting you know right now, I don't know why I thought this in the beginning, but I just assumed that everybody on there already knew English and was able to do a crosstalk. That is not the case, and I'll get into that later. But if you are looking for somebody to do a crosstalk with, a lot of professors on there aren't going to explicitly say that they'll do a crosstalk. So what I recommend doing is going into the filters and filtering, making sure that they know English. If you add that filter in there, then a lot of the people that you'll get should have higher English levels, which means that they're more likely to be able to do a crosstalk with you. But yeah, so I think one of the days I sorted it from price low to high, and then ended up picking this guy. I forget what his name is, but I'm gonna pop him up right here on the screen. And that was a really cool lesson. We ended up being able to do a crosstalk, and for the first, I would say like 30 minutes, it was probably just us talking and chatting, you know, basic things like why'd you learn Spanish, where are you from, you know, stuff like that. And what was really cool is that the second half of the lesson, that even though I just wanted to do some conversations, what I booked was a trial lesson, which if you don't know the way Italki works, when you go on there, you'll have regular lessons and you'll have trial lessons. Now, trial lessons are normally like $5, and you get to just try out the professor just to see what it's like before committing to buying a a $10 lesson or a $15 lesson. But this guy, I ended up looking out, and he had 60-minute lessons, so hour-long lessons for $5. So I was like, you know what? Of course, I'm gonna go for it. And so, like I was saying, the first half was just us talking, and the second half, he was like, would you like to try some exercises? And I was like, sure, why not? So these weren't grammar exercises though, because he did emphasize that like he feels like teaching grammar, just like me, like teaching grammar isn't really the best way to learn. He would do exercises like, he had pronunciation exercises. He had an exercise where I would like read like a short paragraph and fill in the bubbles, fill in like the blanks. And then at the very end, we ended up doing an exercise where he gave me a list of topics I get to choose from, and I would talk for 5 minutes in Spanish. Now, that seemed like a crazy task to me because I've never spoken in Spanish for longer than maybe 30 seconds. So it was a weird idea, but I decided to go with it. And the topic that I ended up choosing was games that I used to play as a kid. I ended up surprising myself. I was able to talk a lot. I was able to talk for the entire 5 minutes, and he did correct me for like a few mistakes, but I was able to talk for 5 minutes straight about games I used to play as a kid, and I was perfectly fine. Now, were there a lot of words that I didn't know? Yeah, of course. So I had to like figure out ways to describe it in my head. But because if you've watched my earlier videos, you will have seen that like I would talk about like, oh, I'm gonna study vocabulary, or oh, I'm gonna study this. And I'm letting you know right now that I never ended up studying any of those things. So I actually ended up kind of slowly transitioning into a Dreaming Spanish purist. So I wasn't speaking, I wasn't doing any extra stuff on the side. So this was really surprising, being at like, I think I was around like 530 hours, and I was able to speak for 5 minutes, and I was able to be okay. And that kind of showed me that I understand how somebody could get to 500 or get to 600 hours and feel like they're able to go to another country and be able to speak with the people. Because after that, I felt like I could do the same thing. It was weird. Like after that 5-minute conversation, and after we ended that Zoom call, or ended the Italki lesson, it was like a switch flipped in my brain, and all of a sudden I was able to speak. I was speaking to myself in the bathroom. I was speaking to myself just walking around my house. I was speaking to myself while I was driving. It was crazy because it was like I unlocked this skill that I didn't even know that I had. And I am so excited. And this is one of the things that I absolutely love about Dreaming Spanish and about this kind of method, is that without practicing speaking at all, my speaking has improved tremendously. Like, I've tried speaking before. Like when I was at 300 hours, I would try to say like a sentence or two, or maybe speak a paragraph. When I was at 150 hours, I would try to speak a sentence or two, or try to say something. And I'm noticing that every time I just stop and I just do the method, and I come back and I try to speak again, my vocabulary grows, my grammar gets better. It's like I'm always, every single time I come back to try to speak, my speaking gets better and better and better. So I'm so excited to wait, because I'm still gonna wait. I've decided on that. I'm so excited to wait till I get to 750 hours and try speaking again there, and then waiting till I get to 1,000 hours and then trying to speak again there. But yeah, but there is a but. All this happiness came crashing down at my very next lesson that Thursday. That Thursday, I ended up booking another tutor, and like I was saying, at the time, I thought that everybody just already knew English. I don't know why I thought that, but this guy actually had a pretty high English level on his profile. And then I ended up getting to the lesson, speaking to him, and within the first like minute, he tells me my English isn't very well. I don't know how to speak English, or I can't really understand English that well. And I was like, oh man. So I booked a lesson for him. I think it was like a $6-7 lesson. And the entire lesson I had to speak in Spanish, which humbled me, which was super humbling, because after that 5-minute experience, I literally felt like I could speak for hours. And then after that lesson, I quickly learned that I definitely could not. But I think that was very important for me, because it kind of it showed me that even though I can speak a lot, and that there are a lot of things that I do know, that there are still so many things that I don't know, whether it's vocabulary, whether it's grammar, whether it's conjugations. There's just specifically words that I just don't even know exist, or words that I do know exist, but I haven't been listening to them long enough to know exactly how to pronounce them or their exact meaning, right? So that lesson taught me a lot, but I was still able to get through the whole lesson and still able to have a conversation with him, which still made me feel good. It let me know that, okay, well, I'm at a level to where, you know what, if I needed to, I can speak. And after that, I didn't do a crosstalk lesson for a while. And then this Tuesday, so that was last week, this week, I decided to do another crosstalk lesson on Tuesday, and I'll put this guy up here on the screen right now. He also speaks English. He told me he wanted to be an English teacher, and that lesson was pretty good. Again, it was another crosstalk lesson. We just spoke about random stuff. I think he told me he's from Honduras. I don't know exactly, but he's studying industrial engineering in there right now. And he was talking about like how university is there, and I'm studying computer engineering here. So, you know, we just had a nice, fun conversation about, you know, our lives. You know, again, the basic, why do I want to learn Spanish? Where am I from? Stuff like that. But the crosstalk lesson was good. I don't know, it might have been his accent. It might have been like maybe just the microphone he was using, but sometimes it was a little hard for us to hear. But for the most part, it was all good. And then today I had my most recent lesson. So that should be 5 lessons total. Today's Saturday. I had a lesson with a guy named Domenico, and I'm gonna put his thing up there right now. And it was $6 and I think like 75 cents for like a 1-hour lesson. So I decided to go ahead and book it, and it was really cool. Earlier this week, what I did was, and like I was telling you guys, I filtered for people that know English, and I sorted it by price low to high. And then I went through all of the professors that had lessons that were under $8 for 60 minutes. Because like I said, broke college student, I can't be affording to pay like $10, $11, $15, $20 a lesson, right? So I know for me, if the lesson's gonna cost more than $8, I'm probably not gonna do it, at least right now. So I looked for everybody that was under $8. What I did was I sent them a message being like, hey, I wanna do a crosstalk where I speak in English and you speak in Spanish. I see that your profile shows that you know English. Is this something you'd be able to do? And now I have a list of about 15 professors that I know can do a crosstalk. And actually, I'll put them all up on the screen right now so that you can see them. Because sometimes it is a little bit scary. It is a little bit difficult trying to find people on Italki, 1, that are affordable, and 2, that speak English and that are willing to do a crosstalk. And if you don't feel like looking, these are all professors that I've already found. Now, I've only done lessons with 5 of them, okay? But you can feel free to try them out and see if you like them or not. But like I said, the guy that I had a lesson with today, Domenico, and this was a really cool conversation because the reason why I actually picked him is because in his bio description, it says that he likes animations and comics. So I thought in my head, I'm a big anime nerd. So I thought in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe he knows a little bit about anime. So I went on ahead, booked the hour lesson for him for the $6 or $7, however much it was. And for the first, I would say 30 minutes, we just had a regular conversation. Again, asked me why I'm learning Spanish, asked me where I'm from. I asked him where he's from. You know, we're just doing basic cordial conversation. And then the second half, I asked him, I was like, hey, so do you watch anime at all? And he was like, of course I do. And then we had a super long conversation, like a 30-minute long conversation, went by super quickly about our favorite anime, how we started watching. And it was actually very, very funny because the way that we started watching anime was actually really, really, really similar. This is going to be a little bit of nerd talk, but if you know what Dragon Ball Z is, you'll know that there is a version that came out called Dragon Ball GT. Now, when I was 8 years old, and while he was 8 years old, we both got CDs of Dragon Ball GT. And that's how I got introduced into anime, was watching that. And he did the same thing. So it was very funny, you know, just like talking about stuff like that, talking about our favorite shows. And that's exactly what I wanted though. Like that second half of the like I could tell the first half of the conversation, he was talking a little fast, but I was able to understand him. But that second half, it felt way more like a conversation. It felt way more like I wasn't really trying and I was just enjoying speaking to him, listening to him. So he's definitely going to be somebody that I go back with again. I'm probably going to have another lesson with him next week. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. And so that was my Italki experience. I would highly recommend it, right? If you're like thinking about doing a crosstalk and you want to take the pressure off of like, oh, like, you know, I don't want to do it with a normal person because I don't know, they might be talking too fast, they might not be as understanding of my like unlacking knowledge. Using Italki is definitely a great way to go, because that's why I did it. And now I'm gonna talk to you guys. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna talk about like kind of how I was feeling throughout the lessons. Now, outside of the first one, which is with Martin from Spanish Blues Gaming, all of the lessons, I did feel like there was stuff I was missing, 100%. And this is honestly the reason why I avoided crosstalk for so long, is because I was like, what I don't want to do is finally get to the lesson, have them start talking, and then me sitting there with a blank expression on my face because I didn't understand what they said, or I missed something in a sentence and they keep on saying it and I'm still not able to understand. Trust me when I say you will be able to understand. For me, which was so surprising, is that, and I don't know why it was this surprising because it makes sense now that I'm saying it out loud, but I understood him just as much as I understood that 70s show, or just as much as I understood Avatar. Actually, if not more, I understood him more because I knew the context of the conversation. Because we were having a conversation and he was answering questions that I was asking, I already knew, or I already had kind of like an expected, like, okay, I kind of know what he's gonna say, or I kind of know like what general range he's gonna be going with. So it actually, to me, that was easier than watching Avatar, or than watching that 70s show. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know what it was like for me and my Italki lessons. As you see, I have a microphone now, so you know, I'm testing that out right now. Hopefully the audio doesn't sound too bad. I am currently at 550 hours, and I'll go on ahead and let you guys know that I'm still listening to Español con Juan. I'm still listening to Spanish and Go. I started listening to this New Mexican podcast. I'll put it up right here. It's supposed to be for people in between levels 300 and 600, but it's like their episodes are like 8 minutes, 11 minutes. So it's really good for me. Like if I'm just like going to my car to go get something, I can just pop that in, you know, and I'll go to my car, get whatever I need to get, come back. And by the time I get back, I'm halfway done with the episode or with the lesson, and I'll just listen to it, you know, cleaning up my room a little bit, and I'll be okay. But yeah, let me know what kind of videos you guys will want in the future. I'm thinking about making a video about like where's the best place to watch dubbed content or native media, and I'll probably be making another video about the YouTubers that I'm watching right now. Give you guys a little bit of people just to go out, look out, and try to find, right? So, and who knows, in the next video, I may or may not drop a little speaking audio. We'll see. It looks like this video is getting kind of long, so I'm not going to do it in this one, but it's coming soon. Maybe, who knows, maybe 600 hours. Maybe at 600 hours, I'll try speaking on here, and, you know, and then you guys can see how I sound at 600 hours without any, like, real speaking experience. But yeah, so I want to say thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.